today. From Ford Field in Detroit, it's a special Thanksgiving Day presentation of the NFL on EA Sports.
It's been a tradition since the early days of the NFL, and we're off on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit.
On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
So here are the Bears now for their opening drive.
They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an
And
interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. The numbers on the ground for Montgomery in last week's affair. 18 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown.
And even though it's a short week, running backs love when they're in a groove, and that's exactly where he is right now. He's hoping to feast a little bit more here on Thanksgiving.
On 2nd and 9, Fields. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Well, the first drive here and the first time that we've called a big tight end's name, but I can assure you this, Charles, it won't be the last.
No, it won't, because when he gets going, now it opens up opportunities on the perimeter because that'll draw the defense towards him in the middle of the field. Now your wide receivers will get involved as this game goes on.
And Fields going to have the first down before sliding to a halt to avoid the contact.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he's got some space here. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A big run there, 29 yards and a first. That was excellent from start to finish, from the blocking to the running, just well executed.
And now let's look ahead, because after that, how about a little play action, maybe a little bootleg, and get the court.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Noah Fant with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bears are on the board first here this afternoon. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. The drive summary that time, 5 plays.
And it's Noah Fant who caps things off with the touchdown. Taken in at the 3. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their signal caller in his 2nd year in the NFL now.
You enjoyed watching that game tape, didn't you?
Yeah,
Last week's game.
It was good. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Now, you were a little upset about the pick. I didn't know if you would play him this week or not if you were the head coach.
Hey, they got the win.
You got the win, so you're going to give him another chance?
I'm going to give him another shot.
All right, I think the ratio is pretty good. He'll try to eliminate the interception, but he wants to keep that hot streak going, throwing touchdown passes.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
You can script and diagram plays all you want, but no one really envisioned something like that happening this early in the game. How about that run to get things started? Didn't he win NFC Player of the Week last week?
Yeah, he was on fire a week ago, and what a start to this one.
And no sign of him cooling down at all.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
So, Charles, you talk about this offense, how well they played. I mean, the defense, too, really. But they're sitting at 10-0 now on the year. 4-0, 5-0, that's nice. But once you start hitting double digits with these wins and no losses, I think the seriousness of the situation, it just has to ramp up.
Yeah, when you do say 10-0, it can't scare you as a team. Just think about it this way. For most of the year, they've been playing to win their division and get to the playoffs. Now the playoffs are just about a foregone conclusion. So now they have to down-focus their thoughts about getting home field advantage and finishing unbeaten, and they need to make sure they keep it in that order.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 41. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. He's airing it out for Williams.
And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on. These two teams met up earlier in the year, back in Week 4, and it was the Lions who got the road victory in that one, so they'll be looking to claim the season series now here at home in Detroit.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Eluding the pressure right. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
This defense for the Bears, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Washington.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defensive coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 22-yard line. 18 yards, a big pickup there on third down.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
And again, back to Komet.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. He's been a one-man wrecking crew these last couple of plays. This time 18 more and a first down. So they gave up the early touchdown. This has been a pretty good response. Nice drive, taking it down 1st and goal.
And I know all the cliches jump in, right? Don't get away from your game plan too early. Make sure you're settled down. Don't panic. But it's all true, isn't it? Because otherwise, you get out of what you plan to do during the game, and it's still early.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown.
Jonathan Taylor
with touchdown number 20 on the year.
And the Lions respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own. And that caps off what was really a balanced opening drive for them, Charles. They work in the rushing game and the aerial attack, and they end it with a touchdown.
Strong in so many ways, wasn't it, partner? Their ability to throw it and run it and accomplish their goal, they've got to like the way that they started this ball game.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away.
Out of the end zone comes Smith. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game.
They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings, because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best, and don't worry about the rest of it.
Fields throw into the hands of Fan.
The 30. 10. Touchdown, Chicago.
Noah Fan
with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season.
And the Bears have taken the lead.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2.
Taking it about the 1. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here comes Jonathan Taylor and his teammates.
Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's being a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces.
A leap, and he will make the catch.
And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Back to throw. Herron, his throw caught right around the 6. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. The end result, 21 yards.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago. Followed it up with another nice one here. And before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
They'll run here with Taylor.
A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter.
Good work there, holding them out on 1st down. And this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3?
And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown.
Jonathan Taylor. That's his 19th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Lions are an extra point away from drawing level. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here in this first quarter, and he's got both of them.
Well, he's certainly setting himself up for a big game here. And I think if the play caller doesn't get in his own way, they should keep riding him the entire way of this game. Until the defense proves they can stop him, that's what I would call.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. Just a 4-play drive that time.
And it was capped off by a Jonathan Taylor touchdown.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away.
On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Chicago offense set to get started. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
Fields. And this will be caught by Mooney.
That's good for a gain of 6, and that'll bring up second down. Pretty entertaining start. 14-all the score on EA Sports. To throw again on second down.
Fields. This one swung out to Montgomery.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover. The angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
48 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times.
One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his O-line and just went.
So there's 2 ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
Meanwhile, Fields' throw there complete to Mooney. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Now Fields. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields.
Rolling to his right.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
There he goes, and for good reason. Running with it has paid dividends earlier in this game and earlier on this drive. And until they prove they can stop him, I don't think he's going to be shy about continuing to run for first downs instead of airing it out.
On 1st down, it's Fields.
He put it on the carpet, a fumble. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And into the end zone, a scoop and score on a fumble return for the Detroit touchdown. Oh, backbreaker. That'll drive the coach, the offensive coordinator, just crazy. You get it all the way down there in the red zone, can't capitalize. Instead, they go the other way on the fumble return for a touchdown.
How about the aggressiveness of the defense, though? They're not about to just fall on a fumble, are they? Scoop and score is their motto, and they just did it.
So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown.
This fielded right at the goal line.
The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. So that will push him back.
And now we know why he had a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back, that penalty will move them back.
Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here's Fields. This is the tight end Fant.
And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down.
Fields.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up third.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at third down and long.
Flushed out right. And he's going to go down again.
Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
Like the footwork back there, I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10. So here are the Lions to take over. They've got the lead yet again in this ball game with their winning streak right now sitting at 10. Throwing to start the drive. Herron.
And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in the defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the first down.
1st and 10, Taylor now. Brought down at the 20.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Yeah, he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. Looking to throw. Herron being chased out left. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
Oh, man. Just when the D thought they had the answer for him, he went and changed the question. Surprises him by taking off himself. He's able to set up his offense pretty with a 1st and goal.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
Running straight ahead, Taylor.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jonathan Taylor
on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns.
And the Lions go up by 2 touchdowns.
Badgley on for the extra point. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14. So that drive spanned 5 plays.
And it was capped off by a Jonathan Taylor touchdown.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Out of the end zone comes Smith. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
The Bears moving hastily in the hurry-up offense. Throwing again on 2nd down.
Fields hit and the ball is loose.
But the Bears look to get this one back, and indeed they did. So they'll keep possession.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they'll indeed stop him on third down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on fourth down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1.
On fourth down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt.
Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room.
Flush to his right. He's airing it out for Williams. And got his man complete. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jamison Williams.
In the final seconds of the first half.
And the Lions would extend their lead here just before halftime. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, second year in the NFL. I don't know if last year as a rookie if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the second-year quarterback.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
Maybe time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
No reason to do anything foolish as they'll snap it one more time on first down. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks so much. We'll get back to you and Charles in Detroit in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at what's following our 2 games later today. We'll start in the early window and begin up in Minneapolis. A tough one for the homestanding Vikings as they get set to take on the visiting New York Giants. Then, later in the afternoon, we highlight that game going on in Houston, where it'll be the Texans taking on the Seattle Seahawks. And finally, on Sunday Night Football, they've got a good one lined up between the Arizona Cardinals and the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentators, Brandon Cotton and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3.
The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway.
Taken in at the 3. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. But Jamison Williams out onto the field as his guys take over on offense.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
On first down, Herron. He's airing it out for Williams. Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. A big play there for Detroit. 48 yards.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Back to throw. Heron. And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. To throw again. Heron. Escaping the pressure right. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And they'll get this down to the 10. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
That's a big league job there, getting out of the pocket, not panicking, and just buying himself some time. Then he made a good, accurate throw to set up 1st and goal.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. From the gun, it's Taylor.
And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Looking to throw. Heron. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown
from 6 yards away.
And the Lions take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. So another touchdown there, and even though we're still just here in the 3rd quarter, kind of hard now to see them giving up this lead.
And this is just an offense that's imposing its will right now. You name it, they're able to do it. If you're the play caller, whatever you want to select is there. You want to run it, you want to throw it, pick a play, any play. They're rocking and rolling right now.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Out of the end zone comes Smith. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
He certainly did his best to find something on that run, but there just wasn't enough time to make it happen. Nice effort there, avoiding the sack and getting back to the line of scrimmage. That one certainly could have ended up worse.
Back to throw, Fields. He'll buy some time right, and he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. 5 yards that time out of the scramble, but now they're looking at a 4th down situation. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Taken from just outside the 30. And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to gain a 1st down on a punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
On the counter, it's Taylor. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Room here to run. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Detroit. Jonathan Taylor within sight now of the all-time record for touchdowns in a career. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out.
Fields hit and the ball is loose. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Well, that's unfortunate because he had a nice run going, but give credit to the defense. They got a hand in the cookie jar there, CD.
You have to think about vision, finding a place to get down after you know you've gotten all you can out of a run, and obviously ball security is paramount. In today's football, everyone's coming after the rock. You've got to make sure you protect it and protect the yardage you just gained.
Following the fumble recovery, Herron. Open man is Kmet, the tight end. And he'll be brought down at the 27. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now this one complete on the slant route. And they're going to get this down inside the 15. The partner is still in the 3rd quarter, but they've got this one well in hand and still airing it out with gusto and picking up some nice gains.
And even in lopsided games like this, you don't really see starters get lifted or the foot come off the gas before the 4th quarter. No one wants to leave any doubt when they're playing well. They just want to continue the process.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Jonathan Taylor
Drawing closer to Jerry Rice with career touchdown number 206.
And the Lions get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Well, familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this third quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
Out of the end zone comes Smith. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Now the Bears offense ready to take over again.
Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't want to admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works. Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
Now it's Fields.
Got a man open. That's Devontae Parker, complete.
And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, still in the third quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. Make sure it's a good one and close it out.
Now a give running left with Montgomery. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Fields now to throw.
And that is incomplete.
Anytime a ball is thrown in the middle of the field and is popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
This is taken around the 12.
A good head-down running on the return gets about 15 yards.
And the Lions will take over. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field.
They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles. And, I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right?
He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown.
Jamison Williams
with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Lions are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter.
A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. The last series form, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. Patrick Queen make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. We're on to the 4th here on Thanksgiving Day. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing on 2nd and long. Fields. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Josh Allen in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs. Now leads to a 3rd and long.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
Pass on the out route, caught by Smith-Schuster. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. Here comes the Bears punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll take it just outside the 40. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Up the middle, here's Taylor. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jonathan Taylor with career touchdown number 207, just one shy of Jerry Rice's all-time mark of 208. And the Lions add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against him because you're running away from people on it.
To throw again on 2nd down. Fields. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Fields on 3rd down. And, oh, that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down. Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. And Detroit back in possession of the football. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard. But they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives. And I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would have, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
And some room to work. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo.
They run once more with Taylor.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Boy, 227 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. Now a handoff. Taylor with it. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. So not a lineman, but the tight end instead this time, drawing the holding call.
And more what you're getting with tight ends are guys who are much more receiver than blocker. They may be willing, but that might not be their thing. Oftentimes, they'll be the ones getting the penalties.
And quickly, they get to the line.
On second down, it's Taylor.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. On the handoff, this is Taylor. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. From the 2 now, second and goal.
Taylor is in for a Lions touchdown. Well, this has been another impressive display by this undefeated team, Charles, and it looks like they're going to stay that way after this one.
Yeah, one of the league's best offenses, they've stayed on brand in this contest because they continue to look good at what they do. Just added a late touchdown. Now they're really hammering home just how good they've been all year long, letting the rest of the league take notice.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
Out of the end zone comes Smith. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter.
And he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18. A completion, yes, but certainly not what they wanted. A loss of a full 6 yards. Looking to throw again on second down. Fields. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. The Bears on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Here's Fields.
Had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big 3rd down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
On third down, here's Taylor.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And they're going to speed things up here.
Again, it's Taylor.
And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
On the handoff, Taylor.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now again to Taylor.
And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll run with Taylor. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
2nd down and 8.
Now Taylor. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.
So for the Lions, the perfect season remains intact as they move to 11-0 on the year. And they'll get a few